for all that you're doing. I'm sorry we had to put you through a Pokemon. You're a trooper.
Oh, you made me laugh there. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's alright. But at the moment, it is Brian Bateman in the lead of this race in the 83 car. And it's not a bad looking car. Like, this is actually one of the cars that I really rate as far as paint schemes go. It's nice and it's simple. It's black with the silver trim down on the bottom of the car. It just looks nice and classic, Brian.
Yeah, it's definitely a simple looking paint scheme, reminiscent of Dale Earnhardt Sr. with the black. You know, you see that black in your rear view, you better watch out.
That's exactly right. He wasn't the Intimidator for nothing. But at the moment, he is going to be in the lead of this race. Derek Runge has re-overtaken second. Chandler's sitting in third, and he is only just in front of James Binning in that 333 car. And Runge has a 3-second as Jonathan Hernandez comes out and takes the lead. Oh, we got lots of stuff going on here. Oh my god, there is death everywhere. Everyone got time. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kentucky Speedway for the Gladiator 150 right here on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel for the Output Racing League. And what a wonderful facility this is. All the teams and drivers just made their way down to the pit, so I think they're about to start a pit party here. So while they're starting to organize that, let's go through our current driver standings. TJ Crafton currently leading the way by only 0.016 with a 30.509 over Matt Horton, who is showing some really good pace here tonight. Jonathan Hernandez there in P3. We got Ortega for Harmon in P5, Champo P6, Kyle Krause in P7, Scott Rickard 8th, Brian Pizzicato in 9th, Joe Slammer in P10 as we look over the page. There's Cook, Baylor, Chambliss, Marquez, Sam Niederhelm, Shoemaker, Masia, Isaacson, McCoy and Campbell. And then we have Pentacuff, Watson and Weekly. A brand new driver to the league is Mr. Weekly. Here we go for the pit party. Looks like Joe Slammer is going to be leading us away on this one. There's Krause on his outside. They're waiting a long time to get the green. There they go. Oh, there was a lot of check up on the inside lane. The concertina effect there between Crafton, Rickard and Hernandez. Gonna put them three wide into turns 1 and 2. Inside line on the restarts is going to be a very big advantage. Here's our up-to-date leaderboard so you guys can see what's going on. Logan Lansford is a late addition into the race by the looks of things. Oh. Well, that's Rickard and Crampton that have gone around and everyone behind has just piled in and died. And I think that was the same three as the initial start. Rickard, Crampton, and Hernandez that caused that. As I'm having a look at my mini-map here. I think only about 6 people survived the entire incident. Maybe a little bit more. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 survived the incident. So I was close. I was only 1 off. Well, there was a touch there between the 22 and the 12. And more people are going to meet an unfortunate demise here. The 22 and the 41 I just saw were stopped on the front straight. There's Ken Campbell on screen in the 15. And Campbell not looking too good here in practice so far. He's about 6.5 tenths off the top time set by TJ Crafton. He'll be hoping to improve on this quite considerably. He wouldn't want to be sucked down there. Just in front of him, Kyle McCoy. Changes paint scheme every week. McCoy says that this isn't one of his good tracks, and his current standings shows it. He's down in 19th position, just 1 ahead of Campbell, and he's 5.5 tenths off. So So McCoy will have a lot of work to do if he wants to continue his streak. There's Chris Champeau trying to look for a way around Campbell. As it looks like just in front of these guys, McCoy and Slama starting to heat up their little battle. I'm going to go see who that is with them. And it's the 7 of Kraus still. So the 2 Kyles locked in battle with Joe. Oh, and there's a touch. Simon had a slide, but he managed to save it. As Frank Isaacson joins the fray on fresher tyres. Time is very quickly starting to tick away here. Isaacson trying to find a way around Slama. And to no avail so far. That's a pretty stacked top 5, just looking at the standings. Crampton, Horton, Hernandez, Ortega, and Harmon. It's surprising to see Horton doing really well here as well. Normally he's not much of a single lap pacemaker, but more of a, oh, that Baylor, he's gone around. I was going to say, Horton is more of a race pace driver. You know, he's stronger in race pace than what he is in the single lap stuff. But if he can qualify well here, then we'll probably see him right up there and looking good later in the race. Now Lane Ritchie has joined the fray. Making him our 26th driver in the race. Got about 9 laps left of practice. And depending on how quickly everyone can get through their laps. I do love the old Days of Thunder throwback schemes. Kyle Kraus in the Superflow number 7. Frank got very loose there. Brian Chambliss in the mellow yellow car. Into the pits, there's the 2 Kyles, McCoy leading Kraus. Ken Campbell just trying to catch up to the 12 of Chambliss. Bit of smoke there on the exit of turn 2. Not sure where that came from. Guess someone went for a drift through there and burnt up some of their tyres. Yeah, still just the 26 participants in this race. In fact, make that 27 now, as Matt Sisler is a very late entry into the race. Sisler, who has been doing good in the Sunday Night Winstall League, almost cracked the top 35 in points. It looks like the 13, Travis Masia, struggling with track conditions here at Kentucky. He's caught the fence a couple of times, as evidenced by the damage on the right side of that car. Overall run is going to make that car so much tighter than it actually should be. Make it a lot harder to drive it. No, Andrew Griesbaum, another late entrant, bringing our total entry list up to 28. I don't think that either of them are really going to have time to make a lap here, as we are in the final 90 seconds of practice. But with that, we are going to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, we will have the start of the race and see how qualifying shakes out. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Racing action from the Gladiator 150 here from the Kentucky Speedway will be coming your way shortly. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Welcome back to the Gladiator 150 here on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel for the Output Racing League. Qualifying is now complete. Time for us to start going through our grid order. Once it pops up, that is. TJ Crampton on the pole. Kyle McCoy will be out of P2. P3, we will see the 2 of Jonathan Hernandez. P4, the 22 of Reggie Ortega. P5 will be Corey Cook in the 61. Then Caleb Weekly in the 10 out of P6. P7 will be the 9 of Joe Slammer with P8, the 15 of Ken Campbell. P9, the 05 of Scott Rickard. And then wrapping up your top 10, the 12 of Chris Champeau. There's Thomas Harmon, he'll be out of 11th. Bryce Shoemaker will be out of P12. Matt Sisler and Jonas Marquez will be on row 7 there out of 13th and 14th. Kyle Kraus and Andrew Griesbaum will be on row 8 out of 15th and 16th. And they've got Brian Chambliss, Frank Isaacson, they'll be row 9 out of 17th and 18th. There's James Watson in the 39, he'll be out of 19th with Logan Lansford in the big L out of 20th. 21st will be Sam Niederhelm with Lane Ritchie out of P22. Then out of the 12th row, we've got Mark Pentecoff and Austin Collins, 23rd and 24th respectively. There's Dad Faylor in the 21, he'll be out of 25. Matt Horton will be out of 26th in the 88 car. And then Travis Massia and Brian Pizzicami will wrap up our final row as we get ready to go green. 150 miles. I think it's about 100 laps around here. The field's starting to make their way off of the pit lane. There's Crampton and McCoy on the front row. McCoy looking to continue his streak. Crampton, the man with a lot of pace around this track. Crampton won practice and won qualifying. Now all he has to do is finish the trifecta and win the race too. The field is getting ready. Pace car will make that hard left turn into pit lane. And then we'll get ready to get it on. First start is on green. All the restarts will be on the leader inside of the restart zone. And we are off and racing.
Green flag.
The Gladiator 150 here from the Kentucky Speedway. And TJ Crampton with an immediate launch into the lead. And taking full advantage of that front row start. So too is the two of Jonathan Hernandez taking advantage of his P3. Squeezing himself up into P2 there. And he's going to go for the lead here in turns 3 and 4. Crampton did leave the gap, but Crampton uses the momentum of that slightly higher line, pulls away from Hernandez there ever so slightly. Go to look back in the field now, just to see what we can see throughout the field. There's Frank Isaacson, Andrew Griesbaum, he's side by side with the double O of Jonas Marquez. Then there's also the 12 and the 10 battling it out. It's Caleb Weekly, Chris Champeau. And they are battling over 9th, I do believe. There's Scott Rickard in the 05, he's in P6. But I think we're going to continue on with this battle for ninth. Chris Champeau on the inside will hold the advantage. But Caleb Weekly on that outside line has the momentum. We'll have to see how it's going to work itself out. As Hernandez and Ortega have taken over first and second. Mountain's fallen to third. McCoy has dropped to fourth after starting P2. And it looks like now the 10 of Weekly pulls back and into the 10th position. We're looking at Scott Rickard once more and then moving all kinds of all over the place. There's the 67, Brian Chambliss, and the 68, it's Andrew Griesbaum. There we have the reignited battle of the Brian with the Y versus Brian with the I. Currently, Brian with the I is winning that battle here tonight. As Brian with the Y is down at 24, fighting his way through the field. Just look at this mid-pack action here. It's actually kind of hypnotic to watch. But this is just a long line of cars. It's not really even a battle pack. It's just the pack. The 67 tries to dive underneath the double O. But that's allowed the 68 of Griesbaum to get to his outside. Let's see how this battle is going to unfold between the 68 and the 67. At the moment, Griesbaum's got it over Chambliss. He dives it in deep there in 1 and 2. Takes full advantage of carrying the momentum. And he's carried it so far, he's on the outside of Jonas Marquez. Now that's how you work the race car to perfection. But he will also be at risk, I think, of his tyres wearing out just a little bit faster if he stays out there. He fell back into line ever so briefly just to go back to the outside again. He's looking for the move on the pink 50 car. That is Logan Lansford. Logan dove it in deep on the 7 across. They've got another car back there looking for the high line. I think that's the one of Austin Collins. He's trying to get around Chambliss. Got Sam Niederhelm in behind Chambliss as well. Frank Isaacson running the high line. Some of these cars starting to look a little bit sketchy on track. Some of them are still a little bit loose and the others are getting pretty tight. And Ortega has taken the lead from Hernandez. There they are, first, second and third. Got even fourth place on the screen and fifth. But Reggie Ortega has taken the lead away from Hernandez. It looks like he's going to try and start to build the gap here a little bit. As in behind, the battle is on for third as I clicked on the wrong number. Now this is a battle between Crampton and McCoy. Looks like Crampton just holding on to the advantage at the moment. So McCoy's going to have to work at this if he wants to get into P3. It looks like McCoy just doesn't quite have what it takes to get that move done. Go back to looking through the field. We see the double O here. We can also see the 50 of Logan Lansford losing a couple of positions on the outside line. He's trying to squeeze down in front of Kyle Kraus. It's not going to work. That was the battle for 14th as Sisler got around Logan there on the inside. Logan trying to fight back on the outside now though. And he does so. That's Logan back into 14th. Now he's going to make the charge after Andrew Cruz from the 13th. Sisler is not taking that line down. He's already started looking at the high line himself to try and get around Logan. Logan looks committed to it right now, so we probably won't see a change of positions there between those two again for a while. McCoy has made the move for third. He's trying to close in on Hernandez now for second. Scott Rickett has even caught up to this battle. But Ortega has not been able to pull away really. The gap is only about 0.6 of a second. I'm just watching this battle pretty intently here. These guys make their way down the back straight. McCoy with the move to the inside. Can't quite get there. It looks like there's been a bit of a gap form in the pack as well. I think that's Caleb Weekly that's at the back of the front pack. As McCoy goes for the move on the two of Hernandez. Hernandez goes super wide. He's not just running the high line, he was just about running the Larson line there. So move the 16 of McCoy up to P2 and the 2 of Hernandez down to P3. Hernandez looks to immediately jump back up the inside. It's not going to work. He does not have the momentum for that. Yeah, there is Caleb Weekly. He's in P9 and he's just in a little bit of no man's land here. As behind him, there's Joe Slama. He's leading this second pack. Got Shoemaker in there. We've got Thomas Harmon who's making a move to the outside of Shoemaker. So that'll be the move for 11th. And a lot of cars in this second pack. But we shall go back up to our leaders now. We're going to keep the focus on the 16 of McCoy. As Crampton has made his way around Hernandez and moved himself into third. McCoy all over the tail of Ortega. Pulls to the inside on the back straight. He's got his bumper in there. Ortega's not going to make this move easy for McCoy. As Ortega uses the momentum of that outside line to pull away now a little bit. Crampton getting in on this, wants to take second place back. Again, that outside line momentum assisting McCoy and getting back in front of Crampton. Cranton ran a slightly higher line there in 3 and 4 in defense of Hernandez. Didn't want to run low and allow Hernandez to sweep around his outside. It's the tightest of margins right now between our second and third place cars. Oh, Hernandez had a big send there in turn 3. Nothing came of it, but it was fun to watch. The battle between these guys will continue to rage on as we're nearing the quarter mark of this race. It'll be 23 laps complete when they hit the line. They'll start lap 24. As Crampton, he's definitely starting to feel tight in that 72 machine, just about clouding the fence on the outside of turn 4. I think that's a sign that he's going to have to start running lower, as he's losing a lot of ground now to the McCoy car because of how tight he's running. Gives an advantage to the two of Hernandez. Because now Cranton's going to have to just check out that little bit more in the corners to make sure his car will actually make the corner. And he's also got a decent gap to try and reel in here, as Hernandez has made the move into turn 3 there side by side. Still side by side as they come up to turn 4. Momentum is still with TJ. But there we go. Hernandez now takes over the position, gets cleared. Cranton's going to try and fight back up on the inside once more. He's got his nose in. He dives it in deep. Hernandez gives him all the space. And Cranton takes it back. But a switch over from Hernandez as Cranton got very tight, almost into the fence. Advantage Hernandez this time. Scott Rickard trying to get in on this little stoush as he gets to the inside of Crampton now. And Rickard will now fall back into 5th place behind the 72 of Crampton. But that little bit of battling, that's allowed some of these guys behind Scott to catch up a little bit. Campbell and Cook are back there. And they've caught right up. Chris Champeau is the last car in this little group, as Weekly has dropped in to lead the second pack now. Oh, Crampton loose off a turn 2. That looks snappy loose. It's going to allow Scott Rickard to make the move on the inside of him. And maybe things at the front of the pack will just start to chill out here a little bit. But just in case, we are now going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more action from the Gladiator 150 coming up here shortly. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Welcome back to the Kentucky Speedway here on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel for the Output Racing League. It is the Gladiator 150, and during the break I was just keeping an eye on TJ, and he was continuously just getting super loose each and every single corner exit, as it looks like Scott Rickard is experimenting with some alternate dimensions there. But because of TJ getting so loose consistently, he's starting to fall into the clutches of these cars behind. As Corey Cook now gets up on his inside, and you can tell Crampton with a little bit of damage on the right side of that car now. It's not much, it's just a little bit of paint scraping, but it's enough to affect the handling and the way the wind goes over the car, and he'll start getting a lot tighter. I think we almost had a battle for the lead there. McCoy and Ortega are running separate lines as they're trying to get an advantage over each other. The battle is almost on for third as well, between Rickard and Hernandez. But I think that's where our focus is going to be, as Rickard pulls out of the draft, goes down to the inside. He bombs it in there deep. Hernandez giving him plenty of space. But Hernandez with the momentum on that outside line. But Rickard gets it. Hernandez just held the position at the line, but Rickard was superior speed on the inside line there, takes the position, although here comes Hernandez to fight back. No, it's just in behind these guys. Corey Cook with a big slide job on TJ Crampton. And it looks like Hernandez could not get that move stuck. The battle is still on behind these guys, between Crampton and Cook. The Cookie Monster is hungry, and he's looking to get what he can. To the inside he goes once more. Will he slide up? He does. TJ crosses over. Crampton with advantage once more. These two trading slide jobs like this, it's going to bring Chris Champeau back into this battle, as Thomas Harmon has made his way into P8. And we've actually lost one from this pack. I think it was Joe Slama who has fallen off the back of this pack. Crampton now trying his hardest. Oh, he got loose in turn 4, caught the fence once more. He was pushing so hard there on the outside to try and stick with Corey Cook, as now he's lost the position to both the Cook and Champeau. And now he's back in P7, as Champ fancies himself a move on Corey Cook. What can a Champ do to the Cookie Monster? The answer is not much, as Corey Cook, using the momentum of the outside lane, maintains position ahead of Chris Champeau. Ortega starting to pull away from McCoy here a little bit. See the gaps up ahead as they're starting to lengthen. We're just keeping an eye on this little battle here as it's heating up. But these guys have to be wary. They don't want to lose the pack in front, and they don't want to invite Thomas Harmon into their little battle, because Thomas has been on a charge. The last in line for TJ Crampton as they go through 1 and 2 did not work out, as he caught the fence. And he just lost a bucket load of time. on these two that were ahead of him. And now Cranton going to start falling into the clutches of Thomas Harmon here soon. And of Joe Slama. Especially if he's not careful. We go back to focusing anywhere and everywhere. There's the 21 Thad Paylor. He's down in the 20th position. Trying to make a move on Matt Sisler. Jonas Marquez and Andrew Griesbaum behind him as well. Actually, no, sorry. That's Marquez and Niederhelm behind him. Not sure where I saw Griesbaum. Griesbaum's up in P11 right now. He's just gotten around Logan Lansford. Super outside there. Went the 66 car, Sam Niederhelm. He's starting to struggle for grip. As we're not too far away from what will be green flag stops. Let's see who's been looking after their tyres the most. Wow, that was close. Logan Lansford just about clouting the back of Andrew Griesbaum. Oh, Scott Rickett is out of the race. So it would seem that Rickett has fallen to the woes of the alternate dimensions. And he's gotten trapped in one of them and can't get back out. As Paylor now making the move on Sisler. Paylor makes that move stick really early and very nicely. Just keeping it off the fence as TJ Crampton has come into the pits. It's an early pit stop here for Crampton. He's trying to do the undercut. Let's see how it's going to work out for him. He is going to go at least one lap down. The battle at the front is raging on between the Cookie Monster and Chris Champeau, but they've also got Jonathan Hernandez in this battle. Champeau on the inside in the 12 car. Then you got the 61 of Corey Cook. I think Corey Cook's paint scheme might be a throwback to an old Ryan Newman scheme back when he raced for Penske. Joe Slama also well and truly in this little battle. Slama's been looking after his tyres all race. We have another two in the pits. Griesbaum and Lansford have come into the pits. And we're still not yet at the halfway mark. Just about 3 wide these guys go. As Hernandez has now been shuffled to the back of this pack. And Ortega has a 1 second gap over Ken Campbell, who's worked his way into P2. Kyle McCoy has fallen back 1.8 seconds from Campbell. And who says there's no passing in NASCAR? In fact, there is McCoy. He might have some damage on board. He might have used up all the life that his tyres have. As we now reach the halfway mark, that's 50 laps down, 50 laps to go. And now we should start seeing a flurry of pit stops as Sisler has come in. And he is not the only one as Frank Isaacson comes into the pits. Weekly has just come into the pits as well. There, the flurry of green flag pit stops has started. There's TJ Crampton making his way back through the field. He's caught up to the top 5. So he just snuck his way to the inside of the 12. Ken Campbell's just come into the pits. So he's looking for the undercut on Ortega. Hernandez has also come in. We've got Lane Ritchie in. Here comes the leader Ortega, trying to cover off from Hernandez and Campbell. Champeau is in as well. This has gifted the lead to Slama. So Slama officially led that lap. That'll be a bonus point. I think Slama will be looking at going long here. Trying to have fresher tyres for later in the run. And I would be wrong as Slama is coming into the pits, which is giving the lead to the 61 of Corey Cook now. He's not the only one to come in, as Thad Faylor has come in, and so too has Travis Massia. I think Corey Cook might be coming in this lap. We'll give the lead to Kyle Kraus. Thomas Harmon, P2 on track. Now we know Thomas Harmon will be trying to go for a long run. Just having a look at the cars who have pitted. Crampton is on the lead lap once more, as Cook, Watson and Marquez come in. We saw Corey Cook come in. Not sure why we are still on Corey Cook though. Harmon, McCoy and Pizzacami have just come in. Scott Rickett is back into the racing action. He's sitting on pit road currently. There's Chambliss in the 67. He will not be pitting this time as he's stuck on the outside lane there. Kyle Kraus still leading the way. Austin Collins and Matt Horton have come into the pits. Sam Niederhelm has pitted as well. Crampton is your effective race leader to the tune of about 10 seconds over Griesbaum and Campbell. Chambliss has come into the pits. I think Shoemaker is going to follow suit, and he does. Thomas Harmon's gone for a spin. Thomas Harmon has spun the model. We don't normally see mistakes out of Thomas Harmon. This does not bode well for those who are in the pits. This does bode well for Kraus, Crampton, Campbell. Oh, what? Kraus. What happened to Kraus? Wait. What just happened to our race leader here under caution? Oh, he downshifted and just turned it left into the fence. Oh no, that's horrible. Let's see what happened to Thomas Harmon here, because we did miss that. He's on the outside of Sisler. Oh, he probably expected Sisler to go a little bit higher on the track. And contact was made there. And that is what sent Harmon around. That is quite unfortunate. So we're going to have to wait here and figure out who's going to be where and what is going on. As most of the people who are in the pack here had only just recently pitted. And they're all going to have to rely on the wave around. And that does include Chambliss, who had only just pitted, and Matt Horton. And as long as the damage isn't too bad for Kyle Kraus, it'll be a big advantage for him, because he'll still be in that top 7. As I think I saw the 12 is going to lead the way of drivers coming out. In fact, Chris Champone might have gotten a speeding penalty, as Griesbaum and Crampton have just gone around him. Kraus is still in the pits. I think he's got some major damage on the front of that 7 car. Scott Rickard, rather than returning to the race, has decided to just sit on the pit lane. So he is just speculating. Chris Champeau has come back into the pits. And Thomas Harmon in the pits with him. I think Harmon might have been the lucky dog wave around car. I'm not entirely sure about that. No, he wouldn't have been, because he was involved in the incident. He was the cause of the incident. But here are your leaders here. See, it's Griesbaum and Crampton was there. I think Campbell was in 3rd. But we are going to wait for it all to shake out. Currently, because he pitted, Thomas Harmon is going to be the only car 1 lap down, besides Scott Rickard, who is just sitting in the pits in protest of his internet connection. And the lights go out on the pace car. We're going to see just about the entire field wave around it. There's definitely going to be no question about fuel and whether people can make it. It's all going to be about the tyres and the differing tyre strategies going on. Andrew Griesbaum is the leader. He is elected to start on the inside line. Put TJ Crampton to the outside. Got Ken Campbell up there in third. Reggie Ortega going to be P4. Now we've got Logan Lansford in 5. And P6, I think, is Jonathan Hernandez with the 7 of Kyle Kraus in 7th. And then they single file out behind Kraus. I see the 38 of Thomas Harmon is there. He's the first car 1 lap down. Behind him will be the 12 as the pace car pulls in. The start is on the leader inside of the restart box. Very slow pace being set. And we're up and racing. Kraus was right down on the inside there. I think he might still have damage after hurting his engine there when the caution came out. But it was a great restart for Andrew Griesbaum as he pulls away from the field here a little bit. And this is why it pays to either A, pit early, or B, pit really late. I think Thomas Harmon is banking on there being another caution at some point so he can get the lucky dog. There is Thomas Harmon in the 38 car. I think Thomas Harmon might still have some damage as well, as he doesn't have the kind of pace that we would expect out of the 38 car. But everything still looks fairly calm for the moment. Well, as calm as it can be for a restart. As that Baylor having a very slow moment there on the inside line. Allowed quite a few cars past. And an update of the battle between the Bryans. Brian with the Y is beating Brian with an I by just 2 positions. But that is a very fluid calculation. That'll grow and fall as the race goes on. It's now just 1 position. As there is Brian with the Y in the 78 car. And behind Austin Collins in the 1 is Brian with the I in the 67. Oh McCoy, he's probably felt a little bit hard done by that caution. He's trying to catch up to the front of the pack now. It's Caleb Weekly. He's trying to make something of this race as well, as Pisakemi goes for a big dive up the inside of Weekly. And that is going to be Brian Pisakemi just about into the 12th position. In fact, there it is officially now. Matt Horton is behind these guys as well. He's on a bit of a tear. He's showing a lot of pace on these fresher tyres. Kyle Kraus and his damage has fallen off the back of the pack, which is very unfortunate. He'll be absolutely spitting chips with himself for making that kind of a mistake. Things seem fairly calm right now as Champeau has gotten around Griesbaum, and Crampton is leading away from Campbell, Ortega and Hernandez. Lansford is in P5. was so busy looking through the rest of the field here, I didn't even notice what was happening at the front. But they seem to have single filed out and calmed things down a bit there in that front pack. But that caution was excellent for TJ Crampton. He pitted early, so he would have had much older tyres than everyone else. And because of that caution, he was able to get onto a fresh set to try and end this race with. Hernandez and Lansford are actually battling right now. Lansford running the higher line, trying to use the momentum. I think that low line is still just too strong at the minute. There's battle ahead as well. Ken Campbell under fire from the 22 of Ortega. Ortega looking very strong right now, actually. He wants to get his first win in the books as quickly as he can. Carl McCoy up into P9. But I don't think he is going to have the time to fight to the front of the field. So I dare say the streak for McCoy is over. As there was change of positions at the back of this pack. In fact, there wasn't a change of position. Andrew Griesbaum's starting to fall off this pack a little bit though. Padron trying to do everything he can to extend his lead here so he can calm it down and look after his tyres. Chris Champo under 12. He's looking very racy. He's trying to look for a way around Jonathan Hernandez. Got Ortega, who's still trying to look for a way around Campbell. He's looking, peeking to the inside. He's got his nose there. I think Campbell was very generous there with the amount of space that he gave. Ortega just unable to make the move stick there in 1 and 2. Gonna try again here in 3 and 4, though Campbell did a little bit better of shutting down that lane on entry. Behind them, side by side, Chris Champo, Jonathan Hernandez. It looks like this one's going to be advantage Champo. He moves his way into 4th now. Champo on a charge. He's peeking to the outside of Ortega. And that very quickly becomes the inside as he uses the momentum to his advantage. Side by side they go through turns 1 and 2. Ortega trying to push for everything he's got. Just about contact between the two as they come out of turn 2. Oh! Around goes Champo. That's going to be another caution. Let's back this up and have a look. Chris is not going to be happy about that. They get into turn 3. Does Chris slide up or does Ortega come down? Ortega comes down. Chris had his right rear on that seam going through the corner. Ortega just came down ever so slightly and right hooked Chris Champo into the pits. Oh, that's very rough. That is not the way you want that to go. Tell you what, this will help out Thomas Harmon, who will be the lucky dog wave around. I'm just trying to find the right button there. We're going to go to a commercial break. Well, it looks like the majority, in fact, everyone in the field is going to go for a pit stop here. And when we come back, we will be getting ready for the run to the checkered flag. So make sure you guys stay tuned. The rest of the action from the Gladiator 150 as Joe Slama has spun it on the entry to pit lane. So before we go to commercial break, let's see what happened to Joe. I didn't even notice it because I was too busy looking at other things. But what happened to Joe Slama here on the pit entry? Oh, he just had to check up hard for the pack and half spun it. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's going to not be very helpful for him. Anyway, we're going to commercial break. We'll be back very shortly. Welcome back to the Gladiator 150 here from the Kentucky Speedway. And TJ Crampton came into the pits first and came out of the pits in first. Ken Campbell is going to be P2. We've got Jonathan Hernandez 3, Ortega 4th, McCoy 5th, Cook in 6th, Lansford 7th, Collins 8th, Horton 9th, and Pizzakemi 10th. So what that caution did was that's put everyone on equal tires now. We've got Champo, Kraus, and Rickard still in the pits. Champo, I think his day is done. I'm pretty sure I heard his engine go boom. But this caution is also really good for the 38 of Thomas Harmon, who was still getting damage fixed on the 38 car. And he's come down to pits a couple times to get repairs done. But he's also, very importantly, back on the lead lap. Because he was the lucky dog wave around, being the only car 1 lap down. The lights are now out on the pace car. TJ Crampton has chosen the inside line. And it looks like by all standings, Kyle Kraus, I do believe, will be OUT out of this race. And it looks like we're going to be getting the restart here on lap 84, so it'll be 83 complete with just a sum of 17 to go. So here we go. This is the serious time of the race. This is also when the most chaos will most likely happen. The pace car is going to make that hard left turn into the pit lane. TJ Crampton has the choice of where he starts this race inside of the restart zone. Jonathan Hernandez right up on his bumper, waiting for the opportunity to go. And he goes very early. Gets a huge jump on the rest of the field. Jonathan Hernandez tries to go with him. Ortega went from the outside to the inside, trying to take over third. And he will do so here in turns 1 and 2. Jonathan Hernandez taking the advantage of his third position start, getting back up into P2. But the battle is on for third between Ortega and Campbell. Campbell using the momentum of the outside line there in 3 and 4 to his advantage. What will happen here in turns 1 and 2? As side by side they remain. But it looks like Ortega is going to have the advantage, as Kyle McCoy is now up in this battle once more. I knew he wasn't going to stay away from long. McCoy getting to the inside of Campbell. I saw what I thought was almost 3 wide behind them. That's Logan Lansford, Austin Collins and Matt Horton back there. But Horton's starting to lose some ground. He might be under attack from Pisacami here very shortly. The battle is still on between McCoy and the Cooking Monster himself, as they are going to go 3 wide here on the back straight. How's this going to work out? I think this is the first 3 wide moment we've actually caught. And so far they're making it stick. They've been 3 wide for an entire half a lap. But eventually the 15, Ken Campbell backs out of it. Oh, big fence contact there. I think that was the 61 of the Cooking Monster. Chris Champeau is officially out of this race. Kyle Kraus, 8 laps down. He's just come back out from the pits. Side by side, Campbell and Corey Cook go once more. McCoy trying to do everything in his power to catch up to our leaders, as the battle is on for the lead of this motor race. Jonathan Hernandez to the inside of TJ Crampton. Crampton too strong with the momentum on the outside. That inside line has currently lost its inside advantage. And now it's a momentum game. Zortuga goes to the outside now. He couldn't quite get his nose up the side of the Jonathan Hernandez car. And there's no saving tyres here. This is all pushing all the time right now. The battle is still on between Lansford and Collins. There's a 43 of Shoemaker. He's in behind the 78 of Pisacami. Pisacami only had an average race start there, as Logan Lansford couldn't quite get around Collins. Collins takes full advantage. We're at 10 laps to go now. And if everyone wasn't on the loud pedal before, they definitely are now. You see a battle back there between the mellow yellow number 67 car and the Team Watson Racing Setups number 39 car. As Austin Collins peeks the outside of Ken Campbell, just for a quick break of immersion. Let's see what Austin can do to try and get around the Campbell machine. Oh, contact. on the exit of turn 2. The soup spoiled there a little bit as Campbell came up into the left rear of Collins. It was only the slightest of touches as TJ Crampton pulling away from Jonathan Hernandez now. Ortega back there in P3. And the battle is on for second between Ortega and Hernandez. Hernandez trying to use the outside line, use all the momentums he can. Ortega looks very strong on that inside line. Into 3 and 4 they go once more. And this time Hernandez has a little bit more of an advantage. It seems the 2 lanes starting to even out a bit as far as performance is concerned. Ortega had it at the line. It's still anyone's race here between these two, although Ortega has now taken it in 1 and 2. And Hernandez will want to try and get to the low line here before the 16 of McCoy can try and make a move. McCoy sends it on the outside line. I don't think that was a smart play there, as behind him the battle is furiously on in earnest. Got 5 laps left in this race, and look at the gap TJ Crampton has. It's almost an insurmountable gap for these drivers. And with 5 to go, it's not going to be a matter of catching him, because they very well might catch him. But passing him will be an absolutely different story. As McCoy pulls out very late, dives to the inside of Hernandez. And he is looking for the 3rd position. Hernandez too strong with the momentum on the outside line. I want Hernandez to get a podium here. It's been a while since we've had a 45-minute Hernandez interview. And it looks like McCoy lost out on too much momentum there. Fell right back into the nose of Austin Collins briefly. And both Collins and Campbell went to the high line there. I think for Collins it was an instinctual move, just trying to defend a little bit from the 15 car. But it looks like the diamond line here might be the go if you're running by yourself. Start in the corner a little bit higher, work your way down. Here comes the 16 and once more to the inside of Hernandez. Hernandez runs a little bit wider than what would be considered the second lane, but look at the momentum advantage he has as he holds off the 16 once more. But here also comes the 1 of Austin Collins as we've got 2 laps to go. The twin sticks in the air, 2 laps to go. As Collins looking to get a good run here on the outside, and I think he is going to get it, especially with the draft of Hernandez down the straight. And I think that's Ken Campbell looking to take advantage as well. The battle is definitely on back there. But it's a white flag, last lap, last chance to win it or wear it for the 72 of TJ Crampton as he makes his way out of the tri-oval into turns 1 and 2. He could probably run this pretty easy as he has over a second gap now between himself and P2. Down the back straight for the final time, and no chaos has ensued. Everyone is going to finish this race to come through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Your winner of the Gladiator 150 right here from the Kentucky Speedway with a little happiness wiggle is going to be the 72 of TJ Crampton. Got Ortega second, Hernandez third, Collins fourth, and McCoy in fifth. Just wait for everyone to cross the line here and we'll get the results up on the screen. There it is, Crampton, Ortega, Hernandez, Collins, McCoy, Campbell, Horton, Pizzakemi with a nice top 10, Corey Cook and Logan Lansford Wrapping up in the 10th position, Sisler, Harmon, Shoemaker, Chambliss, Failor, Slammer, Massio, Watson, Griesbaum, and Niederhelm. That's how your top 20 sits there. And Weekly, Isaacson, Ritchie, Pentagoff, Marquez, Kraus, who was 8 laps down, Champo, who is a DNF, and Scott Rickard, who is also a DNF. TJ does a big burnout here on the Kentucky sign there in the middle of the grass. It was a little bit too fast for his initial burnout attempt. Here he goes. He knows he's got plenty of fuel and tyres on board for the burnout. It's amazing how his car stopped smoking as he was driving over the paint. But good job there, TJ Crampton. Now we are going to go to another commercial break, and when we come back, we will have driver interviews. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alrighty, it is now time for our Autism Awareness Hard Charger Award winner. And today's Hard Charger is the Big L himself, the 50 car, Mr. Logan Lansford. Logan, great race for you out there, mate. Plus 10. And what is a bit of a crazy race. Um, almost all the way through green flag stops, and a bloody caution comes out, mate.
I think that caution coming out really saved me because it gave me good track position. I think I was in like the top 7 when that caution came out. I was able to just manage to kind of hang up there from that point forward. And that caution could not have come in any better time for me personally.
Well, it definitely made things interesting with everyone being on a different tire strategy, most of the field having to wave around as well, and it set up what was a pretty interesting final 30 odd laps, especially with that other caution coming out and putting everyone on even tires.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I think I probably could have finished higher up had we not had that super late caution, but I mean, it is what it is. We still managed P10 and on a track I probably haven't raced on in about 2 years, maybe. So I'll take it.
All right, now let's talk about just the first half of the race. It was a nice, solid green flag run for the majority of the time there. How was the car acting for you, and how were you able to get around the driving of it?
I kind of so the first run, the first long run, I think I ended up pitting around like lap 47 or something like that. I had killed the right front just a little too early in the race from where I wanted to be, so I just pitted early to make sure that I was on good tires. And maneuverability of the car was really nice. I was able to kind of pick and choose where I wanted to go. The high line I could run. I didn't like we ran it down in 3 and 4 obviously, but didn't really do it much in 1 and 2 that often. But I mean the track was easily maneuvered. Car was great. I mean, just I wish I didn't kill the right front as quick as I did.
All right, now we're looking forward to next week as well, where it's the final race before the chase for the championship, and we'll be going to Charlotte. So, what's the feeling like for you as we head to the Charlotte Motor Speedway?
I like Charlotte, so it's probably gonna be one that I come race again. I know I've been kind of hit or miss on what I decide to race. It's just I think this week and next week these tracks kind of fit what I like to drive more often. So I'll probably run Charlotte too. So I look forward to it.
All right, now before we let you go here tonight, Logan, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Honestly, you guys for putting this on. As always, like I said, I'm not very consistent on when I show up, but I always have a good time when I do. So I appreciate you guys, and really that's about it for now.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming out, Logan, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Charlotte if you do indeed show up.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, that was our Hard Charger Award winner, the Big L, Logan Lansford. Coming up next, we are going to have our third place getter. And tonight's third place getter might take a while, so make sure you got a drink and some snacks handy because it is the two of Jonathan Hernandez. Jonathan, um, great end of the race there for you, but you were right up there in the thick of it for the majority of it. How was the race like for you? And what was it like dealing with those cautions when they fell?
Yeah. Well, first off, I want to let you know this is the first time all season I've been interviewed.
I know,
Because this is
it's
my first.
so strange. Normally you're up here almost every week.
Yeah, it's because this is my first top three since Daytona, the season opener. But of course, yeah, something to take care of. So you weren't there live. But yeah, no, I mean overall the race went good for us. Started third, qualified great, finished third pretty much. Fell back early in the run, but it's just the setup was tight. I'm telling you. It was it was plowing pretty much the whole corner until the exit, and then exit came. That's when the little bit of freeness came. But I thought we had at least maybe a sixth, seventh place run overall because everybody else around us was saving tire grade, and I think the only saving grace was that caution and the fact that I got around Kyle about half a lap or a lap before that. So it worked out in the end because we got to able to keep the track position and then also gain a little bit more with the other caution. But overall, it was a great race for us.
Yeah, it looked like you really took advantage of that third place start there on the second restart, managing to squeeze your way up into second right from the outset and be able to hold it pretty strong for a while before eventually fall into third. But you didn't lose too much more after that.
Yeah, it was. I think after the stops, that's where I was like, okay, I need to definitely change up what I was doing because I thought I was doing good the first half, and then you know tires come off and it's showing 14% on the right front. So I was like, yeah, it's not good. So, but yeah, after the stops, I was able to change a little bit of the rhythm I had going. Not the best still. I think I messed up before also. Just I never lowered the brake bias as far down as the other people did. So that was my first mistake. But I mean, I can't fault anybody but my own on that.
All right, now let's look forward to next week. It's the last race of the regular season, and we're going to be taking it to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. What's the feeling like for you as we head to Charlotte?
It's gonna be well, for me, it's stress free. I think after tonight, I think after actually last week, I think mathematically I'm locked into the playoffs, but I'm not completely sure. But it's after tonight when this run, I know I'm mathematically locked in. So, stress free. It's just going out there trying to get the win. Really try to get any extra points before the start of the playoffs because playoffs isn't, we don't have 10 rounds as, pretty much normal. We have 4 rounds and, you got to do well all four or else, kiss that championship goodbye. So just going to next week is just trying to build a little momentum, even though I think no, yeah, we have a race after and then the off week. So get that momentum started rolling so that way we get the first race of the playoffs down and out of the way and hopefully, have a good start. Maybe, might be the year we finally grab that championship. At the same time, it's a tough field, so we're just it's we're just gonna see what happens next week. It's also gonna be a long race too. I think we have 10 laps more than normal. However, Charlotte's always a tough track for us, so I think it'll be interesting.
All right, now before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, of course. I gotta give shout out to my girlfriend first and foremost, because if I don't know if she's gonna kick my ass after.
Oh, she will.
And of course, everybody over there at Triad Racing Enterprises and our sponsors with StentAnalyzer.com, Susan Media, uh, Mobile One next year, everybody over there. So appreciate all of them. Appreciate, of course, as always, you, Brian, everybody, Kyle, Jaron, that put up this league, runs it. We always have blasts, always welcome new people. And of course, we're just, yeah, get the ball rolling. First top three in, I don't know, since February. So it's, I think, tide's starting to shift.
Well, it may only be your first one since February, but the regular season is all about consistency, and you've definitely shown that this season. You might not have been getting the podiums, but you've definitely been up there in the conversation. And as you said, I'm pretty sure you are locked in. So we look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Charlotte, and then we're definitely going to look forward to seeing what you can do in the chase for the championship.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be really different, especially with the format we had this year. So I'm excited. Hopefully, just like I said, hopefully good luck all the way around.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, Jonathan. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Corey.
All right, guys, that was Jonathan Hernandez, and I think he kept that conversation rather tame. He only took up about 40 minutes instead of 45. Coming up next, we are going to have our second place getter, and tonight's second place getter is one of the league rookies just coming in within the last few weeks. It is the 22 of Mr. Reggie Ortega. Reggie, uh, excellent race from you out there. You were right at the front pretty much the majority of the time, and I thought for a moment you had this sewn up, but those cautions just kind of fell at weird moments in time.
Yeah, oh man, I kept telling myself in the first stage of the race before the pit cycle is, man, me leading all these laps is definitely going to bite me at the end, and sure enough, it did. But I mean, we held it up there. There was a few bangs here and there with some of the other guys, but it was just hard racing, no foul play or anything like that, and we managed a podium, so I'll accept it, and I guess we'll just move on to next week and see what we could do from there.
Yeah, you definitely got involved in a bit of a sticky situation there with Chris Champeau. I just want to hear from your perspective real quick. Was that just good hard racing? Do you think you might have come down just a little bit? And what was it like just racing in this league?
This league has been tremendously fun. Like, oh, well, I mean, it's been a lot of fun. Really, it's been a lot of fun. A lot of the guys in here definitely are really hard, aggressive racers, and they're definitely respectful. But the incident with the 12 of Chris, there was a couple times where he adored me before that, and what happened when he got hooked on my bumper wasn't intentional or anything like that. I'm not the type of driver to be like that. In my view, I was following Ken, I believe it was Ken that was in front of me. So I was right in line with him, and in my view, it looked like he was, driving me up the track. So it looked like he was just going up, and he hooked my bumper. I mean, I wasn't gonna lift. Like I was already committed to my line, and I think I'm already at least right around his quarter panel before he hit me. And yeah, once I knew that he was hooked on my bumper, I tried to slow down to get off his car, but I think it was just you know too deep into his quarter panel that it just hooked him. I really hate that happened for him because he was up there in really good position, and I definitely want to race clean against everybody in here, especially being fresh and all that. But he did hit me a couple times before that, and I was a little upset, but obviously it's just hard racing, and we'll get over it.
All right, now let's talk about just those final 17 laps. You lined up on the outside of the front row, and the outside line in 1 and 2 is not generally the greatest on a restart, but you somehow were able to make it work a little bit later in the run and get yourself back up into P2. What was it like just having that last 17 lap battle, trying to figure out a way to get yourself back up as high as you could?
Yeah, I think clean air was definitely the advantage. So when the 72, I mean, I think he was up there a little bit past us for a good while, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to catch him because of the clean air. Once I got around, I think I really can't remember who was. I'm really new, obviously. You could tell. Can't
Oh,
remember
that's
all
fine.
these guys in here, but yeah. Once I passed the second place driver, the position for second place, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to catch up to TJ. Just the clean air was the biggest advantage, and especially for how hard all of us were racing there at the end. Yeah, the only thing I could do was just wait for him to make a mistake, or definitely try to maybe underdrive the corners a little bit to see if I could just get a small enough run on the exit, but it just wasn't enough. He was up there with clean air, and I think that's what the advantage was.
All right, now let's look forward to next week, Reggie. We're going to be going to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. What's the feeling like for you as we head off the regular season here with a race at Charlotte?
I really like that track. Oh man, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I definitely struggled there recently and in other leagues, but I do like that style of track. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
All right, now before we let you go here tonight, Reggie, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, definitely everybody in here in the league, you know, in output, it seems like they definitely have something good going on here for the West Coast guys, you know, racing a little bit later than everybody else in the East Coast. So got to give it up to those guys and you guys in the broadcast. I mean, you guys do put on a good show and definitely appreciate that.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, Reggie. Congratulations on coming home P2. And we look forward to seeing what you do next week in Charlotte.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, guys. That was our second place getter, the 22 of Reggie Ortega. Coming up next, we are going to have our race winner. And it's a very emphatic race win because he beat Kyle McCoy and by a long margin. So please welcome everyone, the luckiest man on track, the 72 of TJ Crampton. TJ, you probably, from my perspective, you burnt up your right front a ton in that first run, leading you to have to pit early, but that caution fell at the absolute perfect time for you.
Yeah, that right front was at 25%, so it got cooked pretty good. But yeah, I was just I got to pit early. I was trying something. Just gonna really just saving my stuff in case it did go green because output is very well known for going green all the way. So, but yeah, that caution that fell right into my lap. Very thankful that happened, and it sucks that some of the main contenders got taken out in that. I think McCoy got a piece of it, and some other guys. So, obviously, would have loved to fight them for the win, but you know, a win's a win, and I'll take him however way I can get it at this point here in the season.
It definitely looked like, you know, as you said, a win is a win. We're almost at the end of the regular season. Playoff time starts here very shortly, but you know, you just played your cards so perfectly, even with burning up your right front so badly in that first run. But my question is, did you get any damage in that first run? Because it looked like you had a very intimate relationship with the outside wall a few times.
Yeah, just a few kisses, you know. Don't just I didn't hit the wall enough at Darlington, so I made up for it here at Kentucky. But no, I had no damage. It was just a couple zero X's, and it was all good to go.
All right, now let's talk about the second caution and the final 17 laps. What was the plan, the strategy coming into that caution as to when you were going to restart in the restart box, and then just trying to deal with the rest of that 17 lap run?
At first, I wasn't real thrilled with that caution because I was pulling away from them. I thought I felt like I saved my stuff pretty good, but it ended up working out. And uh, man, Ken almost beat me out of pit road on that caution, and I'm if he did, that would have been game over. I think he would have ended up winning the race, but um, I was able to beat him off pit road, and clean air is just such a big thing. Uh, and then that last run, Jonathan was all over my rear end. I was trying to save a bit of right front for the last stretch, so um, luckily I was able to keep him behind me, but also kind of take it easy entering the corners, and was able to pull away those last 15 laps and got the W.
All right, now let's look forward to next week, the last race of the regular season, and we're going to be taking it to Charlotte. Now, it's to my understanding that it you might not be here for it, but what's the feeling like for you for us ending the season at Charlotte?
Charlotte, I do regret that I'm going to miss that, but it is. I am going to the Indy 500, so I would rather go to the Indy 500 than race on a computer. Even though this league, I love racing here. So, unfortunately, I will be missing this race and also Gateway, the first race of the chase. So is going to kind of stink. But you know, uh, it is what it is. Sometimes life gets in the way, and but it's for a good reason for the Indy 500.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time. But before we let you go here tonight, TJ, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, I want to thank you for broadcasting all the races. It's always fun to look back and watch these, especially this one, see how all what happened for me to get the lead. I want to thank everyone, all the drivers' output. It's always a fantastic race each and every week. And I want to thank all my sponsors, Redline Oil, James Watson at Team Watson Racing Setups, and Extreme Mufflers.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, TJ. Congratulations on coming home with the win. And I guess we'll see you in race number 2 of the chase.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. That was tonight's winner. And we won't be seeing him for a little bit. The 72 of Mr. TJ Crampton. But that is going to wrap things up for us here tonight. Thank you all so much for coming out. It was an excellent race here at Kentucky. And Kentucky, for the output, just always turns on some really good racing. And even with a couple of cautions sprinkled in there, it did not dilute the drama at all. But that's going to be all for us. And until next week, I've been your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator. We'll see you guys at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.